taking on Havu.
Here we go, pistol round underway. The sixth BO1 of the day for us, and the sixth map we've got to cast. We love variety. Might be a first for me. I don't think I'll ever get this situation again. If we get Nuke in the final game between Gamer Legion and Sprout, then I will most certainly have a laugh at that. But Inferno for the first time, utility brought up by Refresh, Double Flash and Smoke, and it will be Doto with the flash ready and raring to go for Havu. Problem is, of course, for the Havu side, no defuse kit, so they need to get ready and raring to go straight away, but they might not even need it because Spargo's dualies will ring off against Xiphon. X7 with the P2000. He's a P2000 player. It's an interesting choice, but he makes it sing. And Ariel, with his own set of dual Berettas, is doing even more work as well.
Yeah, of course, for Sprout, they'll recognise this is a marathon and not a sprint, so losing the pistol isn't the end of the world. You know, drawing back to some of their statistics on this map specifically as well for Sprout, right, is it's nearly an even split in terms of CT and T round distribution. You've got to understand as well, they've been playing some pretty decent sides. You know, you've got a Mouse in there, a Liquid, a K23, a Forza. Some pretty decent names out of the hat here on the Inferno pool that Sprout have been playing. So I won't look into the numbers too deeply between the sides, but of course it is important to know Havu are starting on the CT side, which means, you know, financially a little harder, but in terms of the map design, a little easier. Spargo making it look easy with the dualies. I promise they're not that easy. Spargo just is the magic touch.
Yeah, the dualies, whether it's in, you know, whoever's hands they're in, it seems to either get 3 kills or 3 damage. One of the two.
Yeah, fair.
Great round, though, from Havu. Get the perfect start. Historically, Sprout have always been comfortable going to Inferno, even with the old roster with Spiddy and Rals as well. I remember casting them on Inferno at ESL Challenger Valencia. That was a upset win. With Furia, I believe. Another event. And they're going to go for Felico. Yeah, for sure. Furia had a rough event back then. It's crazy that, you know, they lost to 0-0 Nation in that tournament and had a rough Cologne, rough Pro League, and then Furia made such incredible waves in Rio. Green versus green. It should be painted in red up top mid. Slacks manages to get 1. Refreshes in the cubby. I'm not sure Spargo actually knows that. But it'll be found by the MP9 anyway. And the MP9s do get that bonus cash. They only need to lose 1 player. Not too bad. Now Sprout will go for the AKs.
Mate, not going to lie. The Finns look very happy over there. Sprout, I think game faces are on. It's a bit disappointing, I'm not going to lie, for Havu. Like, I genuinely do feel bad for them in some way because... As we said earlier, as I made the stat line up and as we've talked about, they've got some very high performers on this team. They're 0-3, but between 3 matchups, you've got to understand they are a few rounds out between having 3 sets of overtimes and 3 losses. Like, it's sad to see, it really is, because, you know, on a different day, Havu, I mean, they've been looking good here, but if they are to pick them up, I wouldn't half argue that we have like a 4-way tie in the middle of the pack right now.
Yeah, that is what makes this so interesting as we get toward the end of the day. Group A being completed in 1 entire day's play. Same will be the case for Group B tomorrow. Sprout moving towards the B play. Flash is coming in, Molotov's available. Stair wins the duel actually against X7. Dink exchanged. Spargo will take down Xiphon as he advances back down mid. So, I mean, they have an upgrade to take. Honestly, at this point, they're probably going to save, though, unfortunately. Because they're way too far away from the bomb site, despite the fact they have a health advantage. And kits. Realistically, it is not possible. So, I'm afraid it's outsiders Counter-Strike, but it's correct Counter-Strike.
It's James CS, mate.
Yep.
But sometimes it has to be played, you know? Especially in this scenario where I think they've had a look around the board and they've gone, do you know what? We don't need to press this issue, Zen. Yeah, that's silly. Oh, the nade. Yeah, Stairs all right. Oh, the molly behind it certainly will cause issues. Yeah, that's going to definitely churn up some of the HP. Stairs, 7 points of health. Yeah, goes down to the bomb. So indirectly, Zen's flushed them out and forced another kill to happen. 3 survive for Sprout. It's a first on the board. But of course, Havu keep all of their weapons but one.
Yeah, I mean, it's that sort of save which I really respect, right? They're not just, sitting in a hidey hole in T-spawn or something. They're going for damage, and they know that with the bomb radius now these days, there's so much pain to the T side. It's most certainly worth going for that sort of thing and dealing with maybe a few lost grenades. They do so much damage with that. Mollies into a corner and more damage taken off. Bomb damage will take them out of the round. And they didn't maybe get as many as they wanted, but it's enough to keep Sprout honest, at least.
And 7 has the fortune of kind teammates, where they drop a utility, specifically a molly, and that forces Stair a little further back. Didn't want to linger in the first molly that's kind of cutting circulation off from top banana, and a second one that forces him a little deeper. Spargo's going to get smoked off from long, and the correct response is another molly. Havu just playing things slow. I like it. They're not, forcing a fight. They're not trying to entice Sprout into an engagement. They're just trying to wind down the clock as best as they can and force the European side into a moment of pressure.
Yep. They're running though on utility a little bit, our Sprout. They got 3 smokes, which is more than enough, but the question is, 35 seconds to go, they're going to have to use them in the right spot. And X7, that's a really good information play from Havu there, actually. X7's completely cleared out top banana. There's no one there. I think they probably know now it is an A play. In comes the flash. X7's on the rotation. The smoke toward Arch is well placed, but it doesn't matter when there are bullets coming straight through that smoke. In for A1S, no traces. In comes the flash. Now I think they're going in as a duo, and they completely destroy Slacks, but Laurenex gets both, and he even gets a third as well. Oh my goodness, he's really stepping up right now, but so is Aerial at the back of pit. Gets both of them, and now Laurenex has to clutch, looking for the ace in this round is Laurenex, and he makes it happen! Oh, that's what we talk about with this young Romanian. Absolute monster!
Mate, I've never seen Refresh smile so much. I mean, first and foremost, a brilliant 3K here. Aerial's response is so clean. 2 kills, a nice adjustment onto Zyphon as well. Laurenex peeks around the corner, 9 points of health, and then delivers a headshot where 1 bullet is the difference for Doto. And unfortunate that Havu's second best. A brilliant display that gives Sprout an equalizer, and more crucially, putting Havu really forcing deep into their pockets.
Nice pick from Spargo, though. Takes down his counterpart Slacks as he makes his way down into underpass. And Aerial, he hears the movement of the jump up toward apartments and just destroys Laurenex. All right, well, there's some karma for the previous round, perhaps. It's a bit of revenge. Does Aerial straight through the paper-thin walls. That gives Havu a 5v3. Stairs forced away as well. Back down banana with the back of that, off the back of that flashbang, I should say. Ooh, that's got to hurt.
Lots of damage, yeah. I mean, 3v5 originally, though. There should be no mistakes here. Obviously, Sprout had a better buy overall. But from that 5v3, Havu shouldn't be losing out on this round. Stairs, 21 points of health. Zyphon's 59. Refresh is the only man that really holds some weight and some value. That play from Zen is ridiculous. I mean, probably expected them to have already pushed deep towards CT, but he runs right through the smoke, not a care in the world. And Refresh has himself a second Aerial in pit. Surely they expect it again. It's good damage. There's your first. Surely not another double kill for Aerial. It's another clutch required, this time from Refresh, but both players enticingly low. 3 bullets is enough to take them both down. And taking a page out of James' book, he's standing on top of the mid-site box. He was looking for his first fight, but instead now wants to position for the post plant, and so pit is his poison.
It's very doable. Look at the health. You mentioned it, 40 on Doto, 15 on Spargo. He's still on the AWP, and there's a lack of a kit picked up as well. I'm not sure if there's one on the site somewhere. Refresh is taking his time. I mentioned that he's really good in the clutch, even though, of course, he does IGL these days, and there's the 1 bullet required for Spargo. But actually, he exposes himself short, and now he's out of bullets as well. But thankfully, the flash bails him out. Refresh, I'm going to giggle at that one. That was a bit of an escape when he exposed himself so much, but in the end, once again, he recovers the situation.
I'm not sure if you saw the player cam there. Refresh looked unbelievably hard, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to see his reaction again. Very, very messy. But afterwards, Berry's tapped his shoulder and just literally just first thing he's done is call for a timeout. Because that's 2 rounds now that have got very, very close, that Sprout have brought down to the wire. Once in a scenario that maybe they shouldn't have been winning. The other time, you've got to consider there was a FAMAS and an MP9 in the mixer for the CT side of Havu, yet they still bring it down to the wire. To be fair, it was a 5v3 to begin with, so fair play to Sprout, but now actually it seems to be more technical than tactical. Now NX is watching on as his teammate Refresh has got his headset off, and indeed it will be a technical pause. Maybe getting a bit too excited, hit the keyboard a bit too hard, you know, got too hyped. I didn't see a drinks village at least, which seems to be always the excuse online. Notice how little it happens at LAN, by the way. Yeah.
Listen, I have to say, if you're a person that has your drink on your mouse pad, I do not wish to talk to you.
You're an idiot. Yeah.
I couldn't in the right mind have condensation / a risk of a spillage on my mouse pad. I'm not risking that in a million years.
You can see Refresh sticking the in-ears back in.
That was important, though. I mean, you make a very good point. Berry, you know, I'm not sure if maybe him calling for the fact that maybe their coach headset's not working or something like that. Refresh can't hear him or something along those lines. But him calling for a timeout was well timed. Goes without saying.
Yeah.
But after those 2 rounds, you make a very good point that you just need to calm down a little bit. When you're that hyped,
you do.
It's all about taking about just an extra 15 seconds to say, okay, we've fought our way through these 2 ridiculous situations. It's time just to take a moment and win the next one even cleaner.
Close up on Refresh, the man that won them that previous round in a clutch scenario. Wondering what's going to be pulled out of the strat book next, because that's 2 plays that have ended very narrowly towards A, but we talked about Havu's good use of utility towards B in terms of mollies and, you know, basically whittling down seconds and time. Let's see. We'll wait, because Sprout, no doubt about it, strat book is deep here on Inferno. For Havu, yet again, it's another force buy and a scramble, a desperation play.
There, Mac 10, trying to work his way up. Be flashed through with plenty of teammates, but they're running straight into the MP9, and in the end, they're actually quite fortunate to get away with at least 1 trade there. Larinax taken down basically at the same tick of the round as he got his own kill. So Havu with this low buy working out right now. Aerial is stuck in 2017, choosing the UMP instead. Still a good gun, genuinely, but usually these days MP9 is the way to go. X7 will actually make the silent jump there from first orange to second. Usually the main way you can get up there silently is just a boost from a teammate, but he does that all on his own. Nice little detail there to keep it silent so Refresh can't hear a thing.
Well, another 4v3 and another disadvantage. It's been twice in a row now. Sprout have found consistency in these scenarios. Another molly that kind of holds the push, and another one that holds the push, and a nade to force them back. It's a good utility usage, not to mention Aerial's got another molly. I'm wondering if he's going to let it rip on the site in time. He's on the other side of the map, though, so certainly not going to be the case. 20 seconds left here, Trav. Got to get a move on. Good flash and 7-foot blind. They need to entry off the back of it, and for that, they'll be punished. Spargo, one with the USP. Slacks another. Deagle shots miss, and Slacks has it in the clutch. A 1v3 down to the 1v1. He's up against the UMP as well. The most likely of scenarios. It's another 1vx, and this time, it's Slacks that has to step up. Didn't see him towards CT. Aerial doesn't know about his opponent either. And it is a game of dance. It's back and forth. It's an headshot from Slacks that gives Sprout 3 for 3 in the clutches. That's 2 1v2s and now another 1v3. And you can see no one is smiling on this Sprout side because it's such messy Counter-Strike, but they're getting away with robbery. It's another run of cold luck for Havu.
Oh dear. This entire map could be so different. Unbelievable clutches from everyone, it seemingly. At the moment, on Sprout, refresh, Laurenex. Now Slacks is the man to step up. Beautiful stuff. Such important timing on those as well. Havu realised that the situation of the economy is not good. Sprout continuing to win rounds with one player alive, continuing to be forced down to 2 MAC 10s. They're going to continue to force themselves. Again, UMP. Again, double MP9. Missiles in the action as well. Basically, full utility purchased up from Havu. They do like a good force, don't they? But it's not forces without rhyme or reason.
It's unreal. You are right, though. Havu know they're close. But the buys have been getting worse and worse, and so the odds have been getting lower and lower. I mean, he had the right idea that there was someone up close. It's Refresh that punishes him. Now NX takes some good damage. Zyphon just swings around the corner, takes Bargo's head off. 5v3, that's more like it for Sprout. They have the numbers, they have control, they have everything you could ask for in this scenario, and it should just be a 5th on the board. In fact, Stair does go down. NX will trade.
That should be enough. They're just making so much noise as well. There are 2 players directly behind that smoke.
Brilliant.
And Zyphon just says, okay, well, you're stomping around like an elephant. I'm going to remove you from the round. And he chooses the right time to pounce. Good stuff, Zyphon. And now this puts Havu into a rough spot. They've continued to go force, force, force. It's now eco, 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 I'm afraid.
Yep. I mean, thing going for them at least is because they've been forcing so much and the loss bonus has been ticking so high that they only need the single eco. But again, it's just another round on the CT side that Havu could have been winning. I mean, they should have won the last 3 rounds prior to the previous, so...
Very true.
Difficult to say, man, because Havu close 3 times, but I don't even think it's bad luck. Losing 2 1v2s and 1v3 right afterwards is certainly not ideal. Zyphon takes a fight, CZ swings, okay, upgrade. CZ to AK, NX can't allow him to escape, but he does so anyway.
Yeah, it's a really good opening pick. Just a half by this round as well. I got pistol armor, but it's some money for the next round after this if they do go on to lose, which is important. Zen makes noise dropping down, but there's no one anywhere near to hear it, so he could be in a pretty good position. Aerial has recovered that AK, and he manages to find NX there. He's sort of in the middle of jumping between the railing and the back of pit, and the 5-7 over Zen just recovers that kill. It's messy CS right now. Stair can't find that one. And Sprout are falling by the wayside in the worst possible round here. They've won all the tough clutches, and now they're losing to what is technically the eco.
Till still being deployed at large. Slacks will find one, but remember this was a 2v5, now a 1v4 for Refresh. Surely this is a round on the board. A molly will create some space between them and the bomb plant. And there we have it. It's on the board. Finally, Havu win a round. This time, we know the numbers. You need to get 4 players against 1 to stop Sprout from finding the round. But I think the money is going to be okay-ish at this point. A tactical timeout called. I think Sprout are going to have a few discussions. I mean, looking at it, right, Slacks was on 7.4 to close this round out. No, I tell a lie, 7.7. Refresh, I think 3.6 before the loss bonus came in. So I think we have money here. I think we can definitely buy. It's just a question now of whatever they want to float. Does Slacks want to bring forward an AWP at the cost of a rifle? Or are we just going to go 5 rifles and try something a little faster? Because it's felt very mid-roundy from Refresh so far.
Yeah, mid-roundy would be a good way to describe it. Quick tech timeout again. Hopefully it won't be too long. Refresh has already put the headset back on, so I think all is well. Sprout, of course, he made the argument for Big earlier, saying that he'd only recently been in Rio, and then they'll fly to Finland. It's not exactly the same climate. It is quite literally a world of difference. Big, obviously, have performed very well considering all that. The tiredness, the travel, the probable jet lag. Sprout are looking pretty good as well, considering all of that. Oh,
Nice
so lovely
stare.
entry.
Brilliant. And notice how Havu's still holding an MP9 and a MAC-10. Stare, you need to clear your sandbag position. It's a good trade from Lauernex. Fortunate that the young gun has such good reaction speeds. Otherwise, that could have been very top-end for Sprout. A molly run through means Zen catching Lauernex by surprise. Now a 3v3, trying to get the gun, but the 8k draw-out speed is just too long for Zen. And in a 2 versus 3, I wouldn't be surprised to see Spargo and Ariel back up, and this turn into a save call.
Spargo is sticking around, and Ariel does find Zyphon's lurk, so you never know. If Spargo can make a hero play here and at least go 1-for-1, it will set up a 1v1, but he even gets that pick and falls away. That is brilliant from Spargo, and now Slacks, he knows where the other player was residing. Where does he reposition himself? He looked desperate to go for a hard peek in towards CT, and now he'll do just that. Good timing on it. He finds Ariel, and he can fall away as well. He knows exactly where Spargo's coming from. In comes the Incendio. They'll only force him back a tiny amount. Shoulder peek comes in, but Slacks, even though he only had an arm to aim at, hits the clutch shot, and once again, is that the 4th clutch in this game for Sprout? Unreal.
Yeah. That's 3 1v2s and a 1 versus 3 now. Zen goes for the balls to the wall play. Spargo, how do you get away with this and back away? Slacks knew at this point in time. The flashbang was thrown by the first person. The second person must be close by. If they're not pushing for banana, it has to be CT. I was just in coffin, and that's that round done and dusted. It's another one for Sprout. It's 6-3 on the board. And then there's Slacks edges around the corner. Got to be careful because there was an AWP on the other side in which Havu invested in 2 of them. And Doto's already ripped out of the round. It's gone from bad to worse here for Havu.
Yeah, Spyro didn't even necessarily play that poorly. His shoulder peek was decent. He didn't show much of his body, but Slacks hit it anyway. And Sprout just continue to clutch up. That's 2 for Slacks now. 1 for Lauernex and 1 for Refresh. The Sprout is stronger than the Leaf at the moment.
Great shot, Zen. Oh, second as well with the AWP, and no response from Sprout. 3v4. Do you dare walk into the AWP once more, Zen? Given a chance to repossess once again, but it's Stare with another. Zyphon will trade. X7 did find Refresh, but that means it's a 2v2, despite it originally being a 3v5, I do believe.
Yeah, again, it's doable. We're in another clutch situation. Watch Havu get the opening frag, and then either one of Zyphon or Stare get the clutch to add to the list. They're one of the 2 players that hasn't made a clutch yet, so, you know, here we go. Ariel creeping up banana, though, with the UMP. Will Zyphon consider this? It's very late in the round. There's the gun barrel spotted, and there goes Zyphon. It has to be Stare. Back toward Dark. Bomb time, as you say, is very low, and the kit is not good. They force him out, and he's burning to it, and he's just trying to waste as much time as possible, and I think...
No time!
There's no time! So
Another
this time,
1v2.
Stare doesn't even get any of the kills in the clutch, but technically, that's his 1v2.
Didn't kill a single one, but just plays it on the clock. That's 4 1v2s and a 1v3 now. We will keep on counting. That's 5 clutches in 10 rounds for Sprout. And just think, if all of the clutches, which in fairness they should have been, goes Havu's way, this is no 7-3. This is an 8-2 in favor of Havu. Crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable. If there's ever was a game to break a desk or punch a monitor, I think for Havu it's this one. This must be so infuriating for them. I mean, even that situation on the round, they lose to Slacks' AWP clutch, right? I'm pretty sure that was the round where Zen had the MAC-10 saved over from the previous round, right? And he's desperately trying to pick up that AK next to the coffin, and he misses it like 2 times before he finally pulls it out.
Yeah.
If he gets it on the second time, he draws his AK in time. It's little moments like that where Havu must be looking at this game thinking, oh my God, literally everything is against us. It never rains, but it pours right now.
Yeah. Rough. It is rough. Doto caught pushing down B, no bottom banana smoke, so I don't know what the game plan was there. 1 flash is all the difference needed for Stare to find the opening kill. Havu, I think it's a case of we're absolutely tilted at the fact that this game's gone so south. Spargo will reintroduce them back to the round as a 4v4 ensues. X7 sitting in the mid-smoke, and that's going to catch Refresh off guard, but he can't even find the kill. Slacks Khalil to pick up the pieces.
Oh, okay. Lauren X jumping in with the MAC-10 as well. The movement accuracy and the mid-air accuracy of that SMG often comes in pretty handy. And look at that, he does it again. He just strafes out of mid and look at him, B-hopping around. He wants blood. He wants all of them. And he takes them, of course he does. There goes the AWP. Lauren X is a MAC-10 demon.
That's going to be difficult to watch here for Havu. The first 11 rounds of this game have just been so disappointing. I think, yeah, rough, mate, rough. There's not really any words that you can give to kind of like break the fourth wall and console Havu in this scenario, because it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's been their bad, other times it has literally just been misfortune. Sprout, very fortunate right now. And a great shot from Stairs to open things up once again. It is just, yeah, brilliant Counter-Strike. Lights out stuff from Sprout. Good trade. Now an X on Refresh, though, keeping things cool out towards B. This should be a ninth on the board for Sprout here.
I think they have broken the resolve of Havu at this point. 4 separate clutches. In fact, 5, I should say now. If you include the stair one. Really just putting extra nails in the coffin as Refresh plants on coffins himself to secure a ninth for Sprout. Havu have an M4 to save, but other than that, not much to write home about. Ariel's having a really good game. I mean, he's been the pit player for a lot of this game. He's up to 13 and 8 is Ariel, but he's really been the main man shooting back. Need more than that do Havu to compete in these sort of matches.
Yeah. Been difficult, real difficult. I was going to say as well, obviously, we're not the only stream. There is another game going on right now.
Yep.
Obviously, it's Ents versus Heat. Ents are up 9-6 in the half. They are playing on Ancient, and I do believe Heat were on the T side. So, oh no, Heat were on the CT side, sorry. So Ents have done a brilliant job on their T side stint. They're on the CT side. If you want to go and check that out, you can basically use the same link as you are here, Elisa Esports, and just put a B, the letter, on the end, and that will take you there. And of course, you can take it back off and join us later on down the line if you want to see Sprout versus Havu. And of course, not only that, we do have one more game afterwards. The Ents Heat game concludes. It is a Sprout Gamer Legion game that feels like it will stir up a lot of storyline and a lot of drama in Group A to kind of settle the standings in its entirety. And then, of course, it's the triple header in the last game of today. It's Ents versus Big on the B stream, and then Heat versus Havu on the Finnish stream, which I also do believe the Go TV's out. So if anyone out there wants to give that a watch, I'd recommend watching the Heat Havu game as well.
That's a good point. I do believe we're talking like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago now. There was another Elisa tournament played, and there was a game just like that game, which was Open IP. And anyone can do that. And I'm pretty sure I casted that one. So.
You did, I remember. I remember on the stream because I was with Scriv. And I remember the very moment we were like, and if you want to go and check out the other game, Trav streaming it, because we had to reschedule one of the games because they were later for some reason, you know. Always happens.
Gotcha.
Just Elisa being very accommodating, and you were on it, mate. Like nothing. Yeah, hoovered up the game.
Let the community casters have a chance. I think it's a very good idea, actually, to be fair. If you can have a schedule like this, you may as well have a game that's open. But anyway, double pop in toward pit. Everyone's very blind. Zyphon does manage to deal with Zen, and he deals with Ariel as well. Just absolutely deleted. Get out of his server. He is owning it right now. What did I say about Nico Odos, his ex-teammate, saying he was the most talented player he's ever played with? Well, that's just a little bit of a sighting of it.
Oh man, it's looking good for Sprout now. 4v2, Stair gets another kill at Spargo that's removed as shots continue to fire off. I mean, sure, Stair's one of the healthier players on this Sprout side, but no one's exactly living life to its fullest, as another shot will more or less discontinue the idea here for Havu to go for a retake. X7's already posted towards CT, and it will just be a 10th on the board for Sprout here. A very one-sided start, and it is looking very good. Don't think there's any arguing here now, Trav, in how this one could end up.
Yeah.
I think Havu, having lost 5 clutches, you know, in a 2 or 3v1 scenario, lost them all. It does knock the wind out of your sails, I'll give him that.
Yeah. Now, there'll be some people out there who are like, I could play this game at a professional level. I could do pretty well. And
It's
then you
getting
see,
sweaty.
yeah, and then you see the way Zyphon just deleted 2 players. Didn't even give Ariel, who is, you know, a major player, ex-major player in his own right from the Ents days, in a split second. No chance to even shoot back. The blue mouse gets a wipe, and the slate will be wiped clean as well, coming into round 14. Both teams on a bye. Zen is without primary, but it doesn't matter, and this boost could work out pretty nicely. The flash is glorious. That's a wonderful way for Spygo to get his pick.
And a second kill. It's Stair that's caught overextensive on Banana. Smoke deployed by Doto, and the bomb drop behind it. Refresh was thinking about the trade and thinking about the potential of taking Banana away. Instead, Sprout are just going to have to live with being 2 men down here because they've been bottled up to be here. A great shot from Refresh, though, on the corner. Nice reactions. A jump right click of a flashbang. Sometimes we see teams have lineups from that position. Refresh just freehands it to try and basically entice a rotate, and the AWP of Spargo will wander over.
Can Sprout get at least a couple of entries and a plant to activate another possible clutch? Only Zyphon is left out in this scenario. Refresh with the picked up AWP. Takes Spargo out, and Zen is on a quick flank, and the flank that is quick is maybe a bit too quick. Now back into a 3v2. Doto needs to step up. He's not having the best game so far. Only 31 ADR to his name. Fake plant comes in. He shows himself because of that, and they just pinch it. They push 1 player next to Paul, 1 player on top of first orange, and that's the way to do it if you're Sprout. Perfectly played, and they know exactly where Ariel is as well. Zyphon has jump spotted him. Chucks the flash to push him away. And this round is done again.
Great shot from Lawanex on the AWP. It's 11 on the board now for Sprout, continuing to run away with this game. And I hate to add it to the list. I know it's not quite a clutch, but that was a 3v5 scenario that Sprout have won. So that's been 3 1v2s, 1 1v3, and 1 3v5. It hurts, man. It hurts.
Retro, that's not very good.
No. That is great insight. If anyone's listening and wants to hire top-tier analysts, there's your man. That is not very good indeed, Mr. Trav. It's 11-3, mate. Sprout have won 6 clutches out of the 11 rounds that they've won. That's numbers proving dividends on the server. Doto to start things off on the right foot for Stair. Ultimately, we know that means nothing, though, because they've come back from worse.
Exactly. Unfortunately, this is a skill issue right now for Havu. They're getting outplayed by Sprout. Simple as that. There's no other way to look at it. Every single thing that Sprout do is turning to gold, and everything that Havu does is seemingly turning to dust.
Or dust. That works as well. The Medusa effect, but
maybe.
Certainly hasn't been looking too strong for Havu in this one. Some util display towards middle. Spargo on a boosted angle. It's yet again a gimmicky boost that give Havu a man advantage. Surely this isn't another 3v5. We've been here before, gents. I don't want to jinx the same here, Havu. Please, can we just convert the round?
Oh no.
Lawanex, there's your first. Zyphon, a second. Spargo at least will respond. A 2v3. Now a great snappy shot from Zyphon. They know there's a player in pit. Zen will run forward. Refresh on the AWP. 1v2, 30 seconds. Bomb in his pocket. Zen needs to hit the shot. Spots the head. Eventually will do so. So it's a 4-.
Sprout, clutch on clutch on clutch, and it's taken them to an 11-4 lead at half. They are on to CT side, looking to close out this game in quick fashion, and of course, I think every round will help, to be fair, with round difference. Might be a factor at some point in the league, so if they can take this one cleanly, I'll be very delighted to.
I want to bring up as well, Havu won the first pistol, if I'm not mistaken. So,
right.
You know, you go up in the game, win the pistol, 11-4 down. Sprout, if they are to win this pistol, it's looking likely right now. Nice shots, okay. There we go. Refresh in a 1v2. You know, I think Twitch chat will be smiling secretly about this scenario in particular, but one I think Refresh is going to have trouble winning, especially with no Kevlar. Bomb plant as well. Refresh. behind it, waits for it to fade away, spots out, and both an aerial hits the shot. A fifth on the board for Havu here. Still a lot of work to be done. No smiles just yet in this camp because I think Havu know themselves. It's a long, bumpy road ahead of them, but a pistol win was vital to start themselves back off.
Yeah, that's at least something. Refresh tried desperately to play directly behind the Molotovs. Of course, you can see a little bit better when you're closer to the molly than the enemy can. But they refuse to peek in until they're ready to double peek, and that's the way to do it. There'll be a force buy though, of course. Linux on the Deagle and the utility. Sacks on the Scout. I've seen these rounds won multiple times already today. But Ariel will relax it a little bit by dealing with that plastic sniper rifle.
See what's going on here for Sprout, having lost the early man. Slack's obviously being removed. Refresh as a 5-7 and a Scout now. Wondering, do they go for a save here? I know I sound stupid and crazy in some senses, but we see teams save from this position before, where actually Refresh, all he has to do is drop the Scout back across, and he has the exact same buy as the previous. Slacks has his Scout back.
Oh my god.
You know, all work can be done again. Couple of shots through the smoke. One more would have made the difference there. 24 points of health survives for now.
Yeah, and I think now they're taking out the A-bomb site in its entirety. Probably would make the most sense to take this buy they have and go off and save it and try again next round. And that's exactly what they are doing. B stream update. It's 12-9 to Ents against Heat. Now make it 13-9 with Snappy leading the way at 21-12. That chance for Heat to make an indentation to this group is now falling away. Their only win so far being against Gamer Legion. Ancient CT side as well for Ents, so they are getting ever closer.
Goes the bomb. 4 players survive, and it's like I know Counter-Strike just a little bit, Trav, you know? I think I've watched enough games to know, you know, when is it smart to save, when is it not. Those are one of those scenarios where it's a roll of the dice and you know you've already got the disadvantage having the lesser weaponry. So you might as well just save it, bring it into the next, see if you can do any more damage to the T side. I was doing the maths. I think I'm very close to 1,000 matches watched. And
really?
Very
close,
yeah.
I'm
getting there.
Nice shot, Spargo. What I do is every single match that I cast that's on HLTV, I bookmark it into a specific folder. So if I ever wanted to count that, I could probably count it. But that would take a very, very long time. Lauredex, that's an important Deagle frag. Moves in from the round. He spoke to all departments as well. Actually, it gives him a MAC-10 to use. And we know how well he used that MAC-10 on the T side.
Yeah.
He was running around and headshotting everyone with that, jumping around like a madman. So if he can somehow be flashed in somewhere, unfortunately there's no flash on the Sprout side in this round, so it'll have to be individual play. But there is a recovered Molotov that, of course, he has taken from the T side, and 2 resmokes on Xiphon and Stare. So it's still doable.
Unlucky. Missed Molly. Smoke towards long. Only 1 player in pit right now, though, and that is Xiphon on a Scout and has a Deagle in his pocket. Probably going to bring the Deagle more out than the Scout, in all honesty. Molly behind him has to swing out. There's your first shot, nearly connects to a second. Doto will trade, picks up an AK, 3v3. Sprout, you go for this one, because you know you can buy in the next anyways. Certainly a doable scenario as well, but just no kits, so they're going to have to get a move on in the post-plant.
Yeah, they're going to go for it purely so they can do damage to the Havu economy. That's the main reason behind this one. They can at least hold for exits and try and do some damage. There's no point saving the MAC-10. There's only maybe some point in saving the Kevlar. Let's see what they can do with it. They're just holding around mid, waiting to see if Sprout exit through mid, and that will give them a decent crossfire. But you know, if some of these Sprout players are pretty high health, then, or some, sorry, Havu players are high health, and they'll probably be fine with saving in pit, even though the bomb radius has been increased. This is exactly what the nades are meant to do. A double dozier, re-rolling back the years. In they come.
That's
the damage
brilliant.
done. And
That is
going to remove Spargo, and it's going to remove Doto.
It's unreal.
There you go.
Very well
Doja
played.
Nade lives on.
I mean, Havu won't care. They need rounds at this point, but Sprout, they know what they did. That was cool. And you know what? I feel like that's become even more in meta because of how big the bomb radius is now. Obviously, it's got nerfed, but increased, if that makes sense to any of you. I mean, like, you know, nerfed as in it's bigger, it does more damage. And Havu, unfortunately, can't get away from it with the seconds to spare on the clock. So, there we have it, right? It's round number 19, Sprout on a full buy. 4 casualties for Havu in the previous. And a great shot from Spargo to open things up. Spargo himself, 5 points.
That's a good way to get an opening frag as well. X7 is very blind behind the smoke, and he will be found by Stair. And just like that, Sprout have full control of Banana. So that's a good recovery. And they might even decide to choose to completely give up on it and rotate back toward A, because it might have given the indication to Havu how many players are here. But look where Zen is. He's way up toward long, and Laurenex does not know about that. But unfortunately for Zen, he doesn't know about refresh. And now they're going to be coming in from apartments and from short too. Everyone has to be wary of the player rotating in from long. That's a lovely shot from Slacks. Under pressure, crouching behind the boxes. It leaves Spargo, who is the walking wounded from earlier on, like you mentioned, and Doto, who is having a bit of a rough game, bless him. Timing here is awful. There goes the AWP. And Doto, keeping toward apartments. His timing is a bit too late to catch anyone in the back. This is going to be a Sprout 12th.
Starting to resume business as usual. Sprout, refresh. Yeah, I don't know about that one, fella. He wanted to check the site out. 20 seconds. Doto's got enough time to plant, but they actually know the position. Doto a little better. Slack's thinking he's holding the cross. Doto's already slipped in towards the graveyard position, and Slack's just holding it down. Spots the man on the cross, fires off the shot. Doto expecting that play, actually nading deep. So would you expect Stair to be sitting right in it? Absolutely not. It was a massive misplay on the nade, but it works out better than had he have not thrown it. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an error. I don't think that was necessarily judged, but they take advantage of that. Looking calm and collected. Looking to secure this BO1. Laurenex still the top frag, up to 19 and 12, I believe. I just saw that correctly. There was one piece of advice I would give the HUD for the future, if production is listening to me, is perhaps seeing the KD at all times in this current situation, rather than if the player's dead.
To be fair, we would have access.
I think it's very... Yeah, true. It's also... I like it, though, because it's clean, but...
It is very nice, I must admit. The HUD, it always got better. I remember the original Elisa HUD, and at the time I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. It was quite used, and then we got the new one for the... I think it was like... After like 4 seasons, maybe 5 of at least me working it, and I was like, yes, finally. And then this one looks even better than the last, but I'm guessing this one's only going to be whipped out for the champions, just because color scheme's slightly different and what have you.
Exactly.
Very nice though. And while we've been blabbering on about the HUDs and everything like that, Sprout 3 survived, 13 on the board, 3 away from making it work and getting another win here in Group A, and feels like leaning on the safer side in making playoffs.
Yep, edging ever closer. I'm not gonna lie to you and confirm anything just yet, because I'm not 100% sure, of course, on the league standings. Everything's so close. It's this group that is really the most fascinating one that we mentioned earlier, right? 4 teams really that are very much in contention for that spot, and there's only 3 of them. So someone's going to be going back home disappointed. Decides for a bit of aggression once again. Finds Spargo on this full eco. So it should be an easy one for Sprout. They're going to reach 14. Double the score of Havu, and just a couple away from victory.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Slacks on the AWP. Dinks.
What did you have as a snack earlier when you said you were going for a snack?
Oh, do you know what? I had a meal deal.
Nice.
I've not snacked at all today. I've been on energy drinks, and I've been on the meal deal. And then after today, I'm going to go and grab food. So,
Okay, fair play.
have you been snacking?
I had like a apricot oat bar flapjack type thing. It was very nice.
Fair enough.
It was very big. It's actually called a giant bar. That's how big it is. Fills you up.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Probably should have snacked, but the problem is like if I eat now, like if I snack between the two beer ones that we have here and the next one, like I'm going to be in a position where I'm not going to want food later, and so yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
The struggles.
Logically.
Yeah, the struggles. You know, for those at home that just sit back and watch the Counter-Strike, they can, you know, pause, they can watch in real time, they can eat during the games. For us, mate,
That would be rude.
Well, unless if it turned into a mukbang, like Elisa decided, you know what, next series, like next season that we do, that'll probably be 23, right? So spring 2023.
5 casters all sitting on a couch eating.
Oh, mate, like CS Summit vibes.
CS Summit vibes, yeah.
Elisa, make it happen. It's been a while since we've had like one of those events. Be nice. Feels like a ghoul stream, you know? That's where I'm getting at, but just a little more. Anyway, Siphon, opening kill. Aerial does trade. Slacks is up there to collect more and more, as Zen might just fall to the same fate as the Big Green. As he peeks his head round the corner, it's a brilliant shot stare. One in kind, Lau NX tagging up the Rifleman. And as he backs away, it's into the jaws of Refresh. 7 against 3. And as quick as this round starts, your blooming timeout lasted longer than that, Havu. 15-7, map point. And for Havu, unfortunately, I think they know all too well this scenario. They've had 3 very close games. This one against Sprout, maybe it's external factors. You're starting to feel a little bit drained for a long day today.
Yeah, it is a long day. Full, of course, 7 BO1s that we have on our A stream, 7, of course, on the B stream. And everyone playing 5 matches against everyone else in the group. And Havu seemingly falling by the wayside a bit now. A bit drained, and I don't blame them after that ridiculous first half. They're going to be rushing through the top mid molly, trying to get past it and catch off these players falling back towards the site. And right now it's actually working, to be fair. X7 will burn out Refresh, and Siphon pulls up the pistol to go for the frag, takes it, but Slacks is under a lot of pressure, and Area will finish him off. So 4v2. This game has a little bit more legs in it yet.
There is a chance. Obviously, though, the do or die is 8 rounds in a row for Havu. Otherwise, it's done. A lot of hard work, and it will be relentless. Sprout are a side that, even when on ecos, they never give up and try to the massive stare. Don't know, maybe a bit of a jump spot, or a jump scare, excuse me. Yeah, maybe spotted something, heard something, I don't know. Panicked, sprays, it happens. I know, it's like a horror game sometimes, this. Does eventually fall. Good damage done by the Sprout side, but ultimately it's an 8th on the board. And I think the smile says it all. I think he jump scared by something.
He got jump scared by Berry looming behind him. Flags on the site. Couldn't get anything done there. Great stuff from Aerial to clear that one up. Sprout on the edge, and they still have another buy to go. And even onto this, they're going to have a decent half buy, I think, before they go for it again. So, have a lot of work to do. There's no room for error, no room for maneuver. Slacks is happy to take straight up duels down mid as well. He finds his counterpart, Spargo, cleanly. And Doto is being peppered by grenades, has to go ahead of that Molotov, just stick himself in the smoke, try and stay alive for as long as possible. Upgrade and retreat. No point keeping the Mac 10 if there's an AWP down.
Yeah. Starting to get worried though, matey. I think we're looking at the beginning of the end. Because Sprout, obviously, man advantage. We've got AWPs, we've got M4s. Plenty of util, by the way. That's a second smoke burnt. Slacks and LawNX also have them. Stairs just found a gap through the corner of his smoke. It's a really nice lineup, and it gives an advantage in terms of vision. Stare isn't done just yet, wants to move through. Maybe a flashbang call? Perfect. Absolutely brilliant Counter-Strike being played. Doesn't even reload, he just switches to a new weapon. It's Aerial that's caught blind. LawNX with a penultimate kill, and Doto shall walk into his fate. It's Stare that delivers the last. And you can see the excitement on Sprout more or less because